I'm Matthew Placzek, and this is Imagine.
Imagine. Hi. The sweet and playful nature of childhood and the potential to live and grow and learn if that child is nurtured and protected. Today, one piece of artwork symbolizes the whimsical spirit of children being lifted up and away from their troubles. Sheltered by umbrellas and showered with light, this is Imagine. Art. It has the ability to draw you in and let you imagine. It's rich in symbolism and can speak volumes when words cannot. I'm KETV Newswatch 7's Julie Cornell. Come along on a journey to explore this piece called Imagine. Photojournalist Peter Soby takes us behind the scenes to show us that art and medicine really do have a lot in common. There's a sense of calm here, in a place where medicine and art are companions in the healing process of little ones.
How much does he weigh? 7.5.
Here, there's a firm belief that a healing environment is one that lets young patients imagine.
All right, get on the scale. 58 pounds. Yeah!
Omaha's Children's Hospital and Medical Center wanted to continue a sense of playfulness and nurturing care throughout their new addition.
To create an environment that is warm, welcoming, an environment that feels safe for children, an environment that says children have been here before.
So they invited Omaha sculptor Matthew Placzek to let his imagination take over.
This is the top. She'll be on a 15-foot pedestal.
The Grand Island, Nebraska native studied art at Creighton University, sharing his talents as a professional artist for more than 25 years.
Hopefully what I'm portraying is a real heartwarming scene and something that almost takes you away from what you're dealing with that particular day.
In the wide open spaces of his Midtown Omaha studio, imagination meets creation.
I wanted to capture the imagination of a child.
His ideas first take shape on a tiny scale.
The name of this piece is Imagine. It makes the hospital a place that might not be a scary place now, but it's a place that has that wonderful sense of nurturing and caring.
The artwork spans an 80-foot staircase in the new Children's Specialty Pediatric Center.
So all of these figures are larger than life. I made them larger than life kind of on a monumental scale because the building is so large and we wanted a great impact there on 84th and Dodge.
The art begins outside and moves into the large glassed-in staircase.
What I developed is a piece that shows children playing with umbrellas, and then the umbrellas are floating up the staircase 76 feet.
An artistic process that takes more than a year to complete. Using an ancient process that dates back 6,000 years, dozens of creative minds and hands add their touch. Each statue has crude beginnings. Metal rods form a skeleton for the pieces. It's an inside support called the armature.
Metal's the beginning of the piece.
The rods are connected and posed.
So the hips turn, shoulders straight.
Then, Placzek uses styrofoam to give the pieces dimension.
It provides support, structure, and also the form of the piece.
Sticky packing tape holds the styrofoam to the rods. Foam insulation fills voids. Then the artist shapes the foam figures that'll act as a base for the warm sculpting clay.
I like to melt it so it becomes liquid, and then I paint it on my figures, and then I can carve it away and shape it and then redo it again, and that's my method of working.
Layers of clay create the attitude of the piece, with careful attention to clothing, texture, and expression.
I like working on the clothing because every fold's different, and the whole clothing can actually tell a story of the movement of the body. And then also really working on the expression of each different character in the piece. They're all experiencing this joy and wonderment, but I want them to each have their own unique expressions, and what they're experiencing, hopefully I can portray that on their face and coming through their actions. My daughter posed for this one.
As Placzek creates in his Midtown Omaha studio, the hospital undergoes a 5-story transformation.
Good job. I'm getting a really good picture.
With examination and procedure rooms designed specifically for little ones. As the building moves forward, Placzek's pieces take a journey to Loveland, Colorado, a place known for its rich heritage of artistry and craftsmanship. This is Bronze Services, a fine arts foundry at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains.
This is a fairly hot vat of wax.
Placzek's clay forms are just the beginning of this process.
We've got to be in concert with a lot of different people. You know, in sculpture especially, there's a lot of people have to touch it to make it work. Anywhere down the line, I mean, from mold making on,
There we go.
they've got to hold true to what the artist's vision is of what they wanted the piece to look like.
Here, skilled craftsmen operate on the clay pieces, cutting them apart and making wax molds of the now leather-hard clay.
This right here is called wax chasing. And I'm going to return this to basically its original, close to its original form as possible by taking off the flaws. One of the biggest things I got to do is this seam line created by the mold.
Molds that will create lasting bronze impressions of the children. The wax is inside those plaster casts.
All right, let's do this. Here we go. That's 1,682 degrees what it was when I opened it. It's about as hot as you can get. Even through your safety equipment, you can really feel that temperature. Okay, go ahead, pull it up. I mean, you can feel it on my hand. Got it? You really feel it on your chest. Got it?
Now it's melted and replaced with molten bronze.
You're pouring, bud.
The liquid bronze is more than 1,900 degrees.
I've got the glory job, that's all there is to that.
Mike Pfister's done this work for 22 years. Each piece, like each patient, significant and different.
We don't do widgets here. We don't do cogs, we don't do gears, we don't do rocker arms, we don't do body parts. We do art. Art is an individual piece. It doesn't matter if you're doing 100 fish that look the same, each one of them is individual.
The molds cool, and like surgeons, the skilled artists set the bronze pieces free. Now the craftsmen make those pieces whole again.
It's kind of like a giant jigsaw puzzle. They'll have to weld it back together, find the right pieces.
This is where art meets engineering.
The bronze is kind of a skin around a substructure made of stainless. And this is going into Tornado Alley, so I'm trying to make it so it doesn't fall over off of one foot.
Now in bronze, they recreate the detail the artist envisioned.
To make some of the textures, we have to use hammers and chisels and a lot of air tools. It's not like carving clay where you can use a clay tool and it's real easy. It takes quite a bit of time and metals.
Many hands a part in rebuilding and creating.
It just shows you how much it takes to make a community and to make beautiful things in a community. Pull the doctors, pull the people who did the construction and all the patients into one huge community, and that's really what the art really does.
Back in Omaha, we examine the art of medicine. Tiny lives are being improved.
Everyone ready?
Here at Children's Hospital and Medical Center,
How much does he weigh? 7.5.
an infant is prepped for surgery.
Gas on.
The baby boy was born premature.
It is a laparoscopic fundoplication, gastrostomy button, and tracheostomy.
Dr. Shahab Abdesalam is in charge in the OR.
We need this to be fast, we need it to be efficient, and we need it to be as least traumatic as possible.
He knows the enormous responsibility he holds in his hands.
Got some big blood vessels on his esophagus. They're giving your child to you. It's got to be scary. I have 4 going on 5 children of my own. To me, I go over the entire operation in my head. every detail, go through it, get away from the liver, get away from the liver. There you go. So basically I go in, very focused, know exactly what I'm going to be doing, and just boom, 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 keep everything efficient, and get the case done. Pull it back a little bit.
The skilled surgeon will do 3 procedures to help stop acid reflux,
Pull that through.
improve the baby's feedings,
And we're going to put a bite in the diaphragm.
and reduce lung damage.
And now try to get your retractor under that muscle. Something that is as complex as this, and you need literally 8 different hands to be doing things at different times, it is 100% team. All right, so hold this right here.
I have it.
Abdesalam is also a pediatric cancer surgeon and a critical care specialist.
Follow me up, yep.
With 3 specialties, he has a passion for little ones.
The thing that probably really pushed me more than anything was just that the innocence of the children, in that they didn't bring a lot of the diseases upon themselves. In adults, you're more operating to prolong the inevitable, where in children you are operating to give them a whole lifetime. Pull back, pull back, pull back. There. And what makes my job pleasurable every single day is the interaction that I have with the parents and the utmost gratitude that they express and the appreciation, and I get that over and over and over again, and it's such a wonderful feeling, and I don't know that there's any other job in the world where you can get that. Hold right there, and be careful.
Impacting young lives by applying the art of medicine to science.
I would call it art. You're taking tissue that is damaged and making it into something that is functional, practical, and oftentimes more beautiful than it was when you got it.
Like an artist, using tools and talents to create change and offer hope. No doctor works solo, nor does the artist. Sometimes art comes from unlikely places. This is Quality Manufacturing in Urbandale, Iowa. In brand new building number 4, dozens of craftsmen work on Placzek's pieces.
We do metal fabrication. We really don't have our own product that we make for this company. We get pretty good at the widgets, so it's kind of hard to get the shop thinking a different direction every now and then.
Paul Hauser is the drafting manager here. His company typically creates parts and pieces for tractor company John Deere. These days, giant umbrella parts reign. Here, welders and metal workers piece together the skeletons for 23 acrylic umbrellas. They'll adorn the piece at Children's Hospital.
We're wrapping the lights, then we're going to test them to see that all these LED nodes work so we can synchronize them. The most difficult thing is trying to get the light placement so you don't see the light bulbs.
Each Placzek piece pushes the limit here.
Well, you can see the rings, and I don't like to see the rings. You can see it in your camera. We're going to cut them out.
You know, it's always really exciting. He'll bring a piece in, and he'll call me and tell me about it, and then I'll run down and tell the company president, you know, that we're hopefully doing another piece for Matt.
It starts with little models and mock-ups.
So what we have to do is kind of take that model, scale it up.
On a giant scale.
And usually it takes a couple times, you know, to get exactly how we're going to fabricate it.
Like this section of the 76-foot spire that'll support the lighted umbrellas. It's stainless steel and weighs 7,000 pounds. Art that'll showcase a commitment to healing.